Hey y'all, it is Susie Simonson, co-founder of OPWP. And today, right now, in this moment, I get to introduce one of the most amazing people that I know. So if you have not yet gotten to know Rebecca Ploutz, Becky Ploutz, Beck, you need to. So schedule a time with her, let her energy get all around you, get under you, get over you, get on all sides of you, because she makes life better. So Becky Ploutz is from Wausau, Wisconsin. She is the mom of 3, wife to Troy. She is all about energy and making sure that you know that your energy matters. And she's been a photographer for
over 10 years. That's what I've been saying.
Okay. I was like, quiz. She's been a photographer for over 10 years, capturing women and empowering them to see the beauty inside. If you want your life to be watered, to grow, go spend time with Beck. And she will support you in the growth of your life. So I'm going to introduce Becky Ploutz. She's bringing the fun, bringing the energy, and so excited that you're here in person or watching on the replay. So take it over, BP. Oh, yes, she's my BP. She's my business partner, and she's my BF, best friend.
So. She's like, let me just claim that. She's mine. Love it. Thank you, Suze. And thank you to the lovely ladies that are here live with us right now and everyone that is watching on the replay. Seriously, I'm all about engagement and energy. And I always want to encourage you to, act as if you're here right now and comment, share your ahas, ask a question that comes up in the moment while you are watching this or while you are live. And let us know that you are receiving from content, from conversation. And that way we know, even in the future, right? You're going to be watching this and we are going to be supporting you and ready to answer and give more. So with that being said, I'm going to be talking about energy, and I'm really excited about the perspective that I see and how I can share about energy, because you can take it a lot of different ways, right? Energy is everything. So like, what are we going to be talking about? It's come to my knowledge over the last, years of really paying attention to my personal growth and my development in becoming more of who I am, that my energy is something that I get compliments on. I get questions about, how do I do it all? Like, how do I look so confident and bold? And I say, look, because, my whole family and friends have always talked about my confidence, my boldness, and how I show up with it. And it took so long for me to see that that was a gift that not everyone has, and that I actually really work for it. And sometimes I don't realize how much I have done to build it, that it feels more natural, and that is from practicing. So energy is everything, but specifically today, I'm going to be sharing about the fact that like masculine energy and feminine energy is something that we all have. And it's something that I've been paying attention to in myself, how when I show up in the different areas of my life, my business, the places that I experience for the first time, what my energy looks like, feels like, sounds like to me and to other people can be very different. So feminine and masculine energy is the conversation bulk of it, but really, so talking about like how to stay connected with everything. So with energy, I kind of went through, what is it? Is it anagram? What is it when you do the word and like there's a meaning behind it? What's that thing? I wanted to say anagram. Acronym. That's the thing. Acronym. So of course, what is it?
One of my favorite things.
One of your favorite things. And now I just got confused again what it was, but you know, the thing we just said. So I put down energy as a kind of a way to guide me through what I wanted to share and talk about today, because pretext, like something about me is that before there was action hours, like in the midst of, like right at the cusp of like Susan and I talking about building this community, I was doing think tanks. This is something that I started like inviting people that were in my social network to do with me, because it brought me clarity, it brought me focus. And a think tank is structured time, and like with a timer that I put pen to paper. And I realized this last night when I was writing out, it's so funny, think tank. And I wrote N-I-K, I-N-K, ink, bigger. And I realized, duh, that's because I'm about putting pen to paper. And so think tank was what I was doing and calling it before. So what I wrote down last night when I was think tanking about how I want to share about energy with you is really simple ways. So think it, write it, feel it, speak it, own it, share it, believe it, act on it, build it, receive it, gratitude for it, and repeat it. So these are the things that instantly came to my mind, that like a really simple way that I like process through things, or I grow and build my energy in any area, is exactly those things. And I can repeat those. I can also put them in the chat if it's something you want to take notes on. Say it again. So like I said, repeat it. That was the last one I said. Okay. So think it, write it, feel it, speak it, own it, share it. And I say that one specifically, share it, because when we create things, we need to share them. They were put to us for a specific reason. They were given to us as nudges to do something with it. So share it, okay? Believe it. Act on it, right? You have that belief, now act on it. And then build from there. So build it, receive it, gratitude for it, and then repeat it. Like this is the cycle that I go through, and that when I was thinking about energy, that is the process that works well for me in bringing my energy and being able to also receive it. And then it's a cyclical thing. Rinse, repeat, go again. Right? So that was how I started thinking about how do I want to connect and help and support thinking about energy and the way that I do that. So, right, because I looked up energy as like a definition, and it's the capacity for doing work. But then what goes with that is breaking down when you're doing the work, what kind of energy is that? And that's where I really found that like feminine and masculine energy are very different, and we each have them. And there's a specific ratio of how we are in balance or in harmony with the energy that we show up with and the energy that we give to our world, and therefore receive, because energy matters and it begins with you. So the energy that we show up with, the energy that we give, is the energy that we will receive, right? Like, and if we don't receive the same energy, we get the opportunity to say, it's not where I'm going to continue to put my energy. I can choose differently, right? We can move that energy to somewhere else, and we can shift that to somewhere that feels more in alignment and that's maybe better received. So energy. So the first E I have on here is embrace your masculine and feminine energy to build that balance and that life harmony. Okay. So this is how I want to start out by talking about the energy, is really letting you know, like there are two different ways that I look at it. And the masculine energy is powerful and also protective and loving, right? Like thinking about cavemen, the masculine energy. They went out, they fought for the food, they went hunting for the food, right? And they had to be protective. They had to fight and hunt and all those things. That's where the protective and power comes from. That's a masculine energy. On the negative side of things, right? So I will be talking about like, I broke it down to like, I don't know how much in depth I can go with it because I haven't timed out this conversation, but I do have like positive masculine and feminine traits, as well as, you know, more destructive ones that can be the toxic energy that we want to stay away from. So I do have those. That might be something that you need to reach out to me to have the list or a visual of, because I do have 2 full pages in my journal about this conversation, and I could have just kept going. So, you know, I don't know if I'll get to all of those details. So if that's something that you're like, I want to know more about it, like definitely talk to me about it. So masculine energy, the feminine energy, right? That's more the gentle energy that flows. It's wise and mindful energy, full of recognition of what is. And it's really the energy of receiving. That sweet and playful energy, that's all feminine energy. And the masculine energy gives. So feminine receives, masculine gives. The masculine energy moves more serious, rational, occasionally can be cold, but it's to be able to protect. And I saw like seeing and researching more about the differences in the energies was like, oh, I can clear as day see and remember like instances where I was like, oh yeah, that was more of a masculine energy that I was in for a specific situation or conversation, to see like how I assert myself or how I, you know, show up on a softer side. And like, I'm sure that you can probably get a visual for yourself of when that has been an instance for you. And that's really being able to tell, like, you're in a different energy and they serve us well when they are in alignment with what is needed in the energy of the space that you're in. So that's why we're talking about this conversation, how important both sides are, and how, so when we identify as a woman, the ratio is 60% feminine, 40% masculine. If you identify as a man, it is 60% masculine, 40% feminine. And we need both to have that balance and that harmony. And it's really about happiness and well-being. All right, that's the harmony part that we're looking for, because we need both energies. Okay, so that was all about E, which is embrace your masculine and feminine energy to build that life harmony. The N is all about needs, true desires, and well-being, knowing that they come first, and that your success and your money are the bonuses. Big bonuses. Those are the big bonuses. Right? So when we're showing up for our own needs in the energy that we need to receive, and where our desires truly lie, like that is us knowing that that's for our well-being. Because if we aren't receiving those things, right, then we can't have the success. We'll be far away from success and far away from the money that we need to keep building and growing in that area, right? So the N is needs, true desires, and well-being, knowing that they come first. The next E is empathy, kindness, and compassion. So I really put those in there because what I'm talking about is feminine energy. So empathy, kindness, and compassion, those are traits of feminine energy. Our world could use a whole lot of that, right? Like pour on more feminine energy across our planet. We need that. Recharge that. The R is respect your own body love it, and benefit from inner peace. This is our vessel that we have walking around on this planet. And the way that we put our energy into how we take care of it, how we fuel it, is a way of respecting our own bodies and loving on it. And being able to know like that inner peace starts with how we do that. And this is actually something that I was just sharing about earlier today in one of the action hours, is how, I'm setting the intention of fueling my body in a really healthy way by baby steps, like saying, I want to eat a salad every day. It could be a tiny salad, but the intention is that I have a salad every day and I could put anything I want in that salad. But the intention is to start fueling and respecting my body to give it some nutrition and building from there. So that's the R, respect your own body, love it, and benefit from the inner peace. The G is ground yourself with gratitude. This has been really pivotal for me in how I continue to sustain my energy. And, when we don't see all of the movement that we have in our daily lives, celebrating them, but the gratitude that we can really ground ourselves in. Does a piece of lettuce count? I think it needs to be multiple pieces of salad, at least maybe 5 to make it a salad. My child, at least one of my kids, would tell me that a salad does not have to have lettuce. And it could be a fruit salad. Like it could be, there's probably all different kinds of salads, but the intention is salad. So I like the clarification, Foxy. My intention is healthy salad. So it could be a fruit salad. So, but grounding yourself in gratitude. And that's something that has been a really great thing for me to just really see the movement and the progress. The G is ground yourself with gratitude. And that's definitely an energy, right? Like living in the state of gratitude is a positive energy. And that also gets matched when we recognize the goodness that is in the daily progress of our life, right? Because we can be having hard days, but there's always something to be grateful for, and grounding ourselves in that. So that has been a great tool for me, that I encourage everyone to expand on for themselves and feel it out. So the why is you are an imperfect being. So this is a reminder. You are an imperfect human being. Radically accept that. Like that is probably one of the challenging points that I hear from a lot of people that I connect with, is like, we're hard on ourselves. We believe that we need to be more than we are in this present moment. And I want to help people really see like the imperfect being that we each are is awesome, because it gives us the freedom to grow, gives us the freedom to leave that space open for more, and also leave the guilt and shame out of that space to know that we can accept where we are now. So that is the energy. Does anyone need me to repeat any of them? I think I went in depth on each one. Good. Okay. So with those energies, with that conversation, I also have the next part of this is some tips for how to awaken more of the feminine energy, right? I said our world needs more of this. So guess what? I'm going to give you some tips how you can be amplifying your feminine energy. Men, women alike, right? We all need to grow this area and can expand it to our own world in unique ways. And I'm going to give you some tips on it. I have 11 written down. We'll see if I share all 11. Okay. So here we go. Practice self-love. Number one, energy matters and it begins with you, right? When we show up for ourselves, we can better serve anyone else in what comes our way. So practicing self-love. So in everything that I'm going to share too, number one thing I'm going to tell you, think tank it. Set a 10-minute timer. If you're like, I don't know what any of this is, great. Set a 10-minute timer, put your pen to paper, and see what energy flows from looking at each of these steps, if that's something that serves you, right? So what does practicing self-love look like to you? So I'm not going to tell you how to do these things. I'm going to give you these tips, and then you get to think tank on what works and sits well with you and implement it, okay? And I would love to hear feedback. So 2, accept yourself deeply. You are flawed and make mistakes. It's always a great reminder for myself. And I share this with my kids. I have 3 small kids. Currently they're 9, 7, and 6. And that was one of the blessings through 2020 that I learned, is that when I feel like breaking down, I'm going to break down, and my kids see it. And I tell them, I'm stressed out. I'm human. I'm your super mom, and your mom is super stressed or super whatever I am. And I started to communicate that, letting them know that it's okay to have moments. It's okay to have time to be imperfect and not have all the answers, and be away from perfection, because we are imperfect and we are flawed and we are loved that way. So accepting yourself deeply, that's number 2. Number 3 is make healing and your well-being a priority. This is all about slowing down, right? It's about being able to really know what you need, what's supportive for you, and how to best spend your energy. That's where that comes from. 4 is consider your body a sacred temple, right? This is what I was talking about, how I'm really working on the respecting my body and loving it and working towards that benefit of that inner peace, right? And I have this note on here that our body is our headquarters for our soul and our mind. So we need it to navigate through our world, and making sure that we're taking care of it, right? Like tuning up our car, getting oil changes and pressurizing our tires and making sure we have windshield wiper fluid and all of those things that support navigating along a trip. That's our body. That's the maintenance work. So that was number 4. Number 5. Oh, sorry. So I gave some examples too, that I'm personally working on for that one, is also meditation. So quieting your mind enough to just let things bubble up to the surface. It's not clearing your mind. That's not meditation. It's about sitting with the thoughts. Okay. It's about letting yourself feel it and see what comes through in that. And then journaling from there. So journaling is another big thing for me. And then one that I haven't really dove into, that I know a lot of people have shared with me, like how much using chemical-free products really supports their energy levels as well. So anyone that wants to look into that, that might be something. And also spending time in nature, going for those walks, getting out, having that fresh air, that vitamin D, all those good things. Those are examples that I had wrote down about your body and being sacred, right? It's not only about the food we put in our body. It's about what we put in our ears. It's about what we watch on TV, what we choose in those situations and times. So, okay. Number 5, honor your emotions. So our emotions are naturally created in our brain, right? And they're felt throughout our whole body. If you've been around for a little bit and you know me at all, I like to release energy with my tears. I can cry at a happy commercial or someone going after their dreams. I'm definitely the girl that will search for this quick clips of the golden buzzers for America's Got Talent in those shows. Like look for the golden buzzer ones of people going for their dreams and doing those really hard, scary things that is exciting and inspiring. So that's our guide to what feels good and bad, right? Is being able to honor our emotions and what they are, and then asking ourselves, what do we do with it? But letting it pass through and honoring that we have them. 6 is listen to your intuition. This is a big thing that we talk about here, right? Following our intuition. And it's not a big thing that everyone pays attention to, but it's the voice of our soul and the expression of our divine energy. So create the habit for listening to your intuition. What does that look like? 7 is slow down your pace. This is always a great reminder for me. So much that here you go. I have this little totem that my 7-year-old made for me that is a turtle. Yep. I just received this the week before Mother's Day, and I go, geez, I'm going to set that right on my desk to remind me that going slow, that's always great. Because then you get a better look at the view, right? Sometimes that slow down, sometimes that back up. Maybe it's because I forgot to take a picture the first time and I need to take another one. Yeah, and it's pink and orange. I know. I was like, what the heck? So slow down your pace, right? And practice mindfulness. That's what that's all about. Being mindful and how we're using our energy and what that every day to live a more happy, conscious, and to rejoice in life. That's what I wrote down. So I wrote that down. Read that before I forget my thought, but it's about practicing that mindfulness. 8, be open to receiving, right? So as I mentioned, feminine energy is about receiving. So how can we practice more feminine energy? Well, we need to be open to receiving. So open to receiving, right? Allow yourself to be protected and celebrated. When I saw this, when I read that part of doing my research on these energies, and I realized, allow yourself to be protected and celebrated, because when you receive gifts, support, and opportunities, it means that you don't have to do it all on your own. And what I thought about is a baby shower. Like when you're having a baby, you have a baby shower, you receive gifts, you receive support, advice, sometimes unsolicited. And you're in a position to receive this from experience, and that was what I thought of. So practice receiving all the abundance and gifts the universe sends you was what I had wrote down for that. So that was number 8. Be open to that. And then number 9 is tied really tightly with that, because 9 is learn to enjoy the pleasures of life. So, right, like when you're open, you'll see the offerings and you'll be more willing to allow the gifts in. So learn to enjoy the pleasures of life. So that could even be talking about rituals or habits, your shower or your bath that you take. That's a ritual, right? You probably do it a specific way each time. You have a morning and evening routine or ritual that supports you. And if you currently say, I don't have that, or I don't know where to start with that, that's something that I would really put as an important piece of my growth in how I step into my feminine energy more, is that I find the systems and the ways and the processes that work well with me and the way that I want my energy to show up. And I start to develop it in my schedule. I started by putting the intentional things that I want to grow more of in my calendar. And yeah, they don't happen all the time or right away, but it's practicing it. It's practicing putting the energy toward how I want to be showing up and be received so that I can receive it in return. Oh, and I also made a note in here for that, learn to enjoy the pleasure of life. So right? Like being able to feel safe and trust the universe to send us the good things. That goes really well with that. Like thinking about the things that are good in our life. That's enjoying the pleasure of life, knowing that you can go on a vacation and that the good things are coming to you because you're there to receive and get an energy in a certain way with that. So that was number 9. 10 is be playful. I mean, I love that this is so self-explanatory, thinking about playful energy and how playful and sweet and wise and mindful, those are aspects of feminine energy that, you know, if you're a mother, you know, like you're playing with your kids more than maybe the masculine energy of, you know, get the stuff done and take the actions, do the chores or do the contributions to the family versus the playfulness. So 11 is reunite with nature. So this has been a huge one for me over the last, 3 years for sure, is getting out for a walk every day, or practicing every day. And for me, it really clears my mind with stress. It really helps me ground and develop my intuition, right? Because you can focus on your footsteps, or you can focus on looking around and just kind of clearing the worry and really tapping into more of your intuition. So one of my favorite parts is getting my shoes and socks off and putting my feet on earth, getting on the ground. And I did that before this call. I walked around with my bare feet. Some fun ones that I wrote down also is I saw an example of like skinny dipping, like going naked in a river, or there was also naked sunbathing, which I've never done that, but I'm getting a lot of head shakes, like no way. If I could like have like a dome where no one could see me, but I could just have the skylight and be naked, I'd probably do that for sure. The river part scares me, but the rest of it is totally fine. I went skinny dipping in the Nile in Africa. What? Dude, that's crazy. Crazy amazing. Yeah, live it up. I love it. So those are some examples of reuniting with nature. So those are the 11 things that I had on here. And I have a couple minutes that I want to share. So thinking about the masculine and feminine energy and how they go together, right? And thinking about the visual of the yin and yang, the energies, how they need each other, what that really feels like. So I looked up more about the yin and yang, and the black side is the yin. Okay. This is the feminine energy. It's about mystery and darkness and the moon. And some positive, healthy, so before we talk about that, like just talking about feminine traits. Right. So gentleness, kindness, heart-centeredness, creativity, intuition, acceptance, receiving, emotionality, communication, compassion, empathy, understanding, and forgiveness. Okay, so what I did is I made a list of positive, healthy, feminine energy. And then I also am looking at toxic, destructive feminine energy. And it was really clear to me how I can better show up in even knowing this list. So I'm excited to share these with you, because I don't know, maybe you're like me and you're like, wow, I never thought about the different energies and how I show up with them and how I want to improve them, or how I can choose to improve them in different situations. So positive, healthy, feminine energy, understanding, showing compassion, express positive emotions, allow yourself to receive, forgives easily, communicates clearly, has empathy, lives from the heart, in touch with her emotions, easily expresses herself creatively and sexually. So I can see for myself ones that I was like, oh, I could improve on some of these. And where I see like strength like, oh, I see why I have strong feminine energy in certain areas just from that list alone. So the toxic side of things creates drama, gets upset easily, right? So that's thinking about the old Becky would react to things. I was quick to be angry and react versus responding, right? Sitting with it, working through it. So gets upset easily is on the toxic side of things. Always sad, angry, depressed. Becomes greedy and entitled. Plays the victim. Communicates vaguely and is passive aggressive. I've been told that before. So like hearing that, I've been told that, and I was like, is that true? And like knowing that someone thinks that of me, and like, oh, I can improve that to make sure that's nowhere close to the line of what someone thinks about my energy. Right. So this list, I was like, oh, I can tell in instances where I've heard people say things and where I was like, that's far from my intention. And to know where the line might be and how close I can get to it easily, that I can easily work on practicing to stay away from it as well. So, okay, there's a couple more. Judges others and gossips. Blocked heart chakra. Confused about her own emotions, lacks clarity. That's a big one that I've been focusing on, is like really wanting to honor my emotions and let them move through me instead of getting confused by them and wanting to question all of it, and doing that extra work for that. Blocked creativity and repressed sexuality. So those are toxic ones that I listed out on here. And really, like, the feminine energy is a woman balanced, right? I think about spiritually, energetically, and mentally. All of these aspects that I've been talking about are bringing those together to have more of a cohesive bond in all of those areas. So I know that we're coming to the close here. So thinking about, I'm going to just mention, so we were talking about the yin and yang. So the yang is the white side, right? The white, and that is the masculine energy. And it's seen as strong, shiny, out in the open, represented by the sun. So even just hearing those two sides of it, like how much we need both. We need to have the masculine energy. And I'm gonna blaze through these, but masculine traits are taking action, assertiveness, physical force, decision-making, leadership, protection, logical thinking and reasoning, achieving, being goal-oriented, and providing. And I was like, dang, I see where I am strong in a lot of that. And I see where some of them can be detrimental. So here's the toxics. So toxic. So positive, assertive, dominant, defense-oriented, willing to negotiate, family-oriented, respects and values women, calm and balanced, solves problems rapidly, makes friends easily. Those are the positive masculine traits. Toxic or negative masculine traits: protective, aggressive, offense-oriented, gives commands, unable to commit, objectifies women, gets angry very easily, creates more problems through aggression, and always in competition with others. I could instantly think of examples of how that has shown up in conversations that I've had, or how I've shown up and I've like retracted things like, oh yeah, no, I didn't want to say that. Like I want to show up differently. And this gives you an opportunity to decide how you show up with your energy, how it's received, and how you want that to be seen, how you want to show up with your energy, because you need both. If you're a woman, 60% feminine, 40% masculine. So what part of these traits do you want to focus on? What parts can you improve and see where you can celebrate? Where are the strong parts already, and where do you want to double down? Where do you want to put your focus and build that energy in the masculine and feminine energy? Because that's how you're showing up, and that's how you can think, write, feel, speak, own, share, believe, act, build, receive, and give gratitude for how you're showing up with your energy and the way that you'll be received. So something that I'm offering for you on the replay and live is I am doing my video podcast series, and it's about showing up and being seen as who you are, putting out your energy to the world for you to share your story, who you are, the hardships that you've had, and being able to share the beautiful breakthrough to see where you are now, that growth. And something that I'm offering for OPWP is $47 to be able to do the interview. And that includes hype posts. It includes me sharing about what you have going on. And I'm doing 5 posts with 1 interview. So you're coming on my show, you're getting interviewed, and then you also receive these videos for you to be able to be sharing. But I'm going to be sharing them, and you can easily share them on your content. So I hype you up. I share your story. I give energy to who you are. And then you're easily sharing your story and what you have to give to your community. So that's my offer for everyone on the replay that watches this as an OPWP member. You receive that by showing up and listening to the replays for the Zenius workshop. So you can contact me at yourconnectionstrategist@gmail.com for that savings and that special and that evergreen content.